What's up, kids? Chris here. Hope everybody's well this morning. It is a Tuesday, May the 5th. So, good happy Tuesday or morning or happy Cinco de Mayo, right? Look at that. It is Cinco de Mayo. How fun. So, let's do this. Let's talk scope creep. This is a big problem. I think every freaking agency owner out there, everybody in almost any industry has experienced scope creep, and it's when the clients or prospects not prospects, but clients that have signed on, kind of get moving a little outside of the realm of your agreement. What's up, George? Good to see you. They get outside the realm of that agreement and they really start pushing the boundaries of the arrangement, right? And they start really kind of getting to a place where you're not making any money and they're getting an enormous amount of service and not paying you for it, right? That's not cool. So let's talk about how to deal with that and exactly what to do. What's up, CN? Awesome to see you this morning. Thanks for this question. I forget who this question came from. I think it might have come from, it started with an H. Sorry, we get a lot of questions. Anyway, fantastic questions. And this one comes up quite a bit in groups that we teach, so super easy one to deal with. Scope creep though. Let's really work on exactly what to do here. I'm also going to just pull up this video on my screen here so I can make sure I can chat back to everybody too. All right, here's how we handle this in our agency. And this used to be a big problem. We used to really kind of lose a lot of money for scope creep. It would kind of get into the way of all kind of production, not just losing money, meaning we were giving away services for free, but it was also jumping in a spot where we weren't able to deliver on the services for the people who were paying the right price because we were getting overrun with scope creep kind of stuff, right? It was constantly just eating in to the reality of our agency workflow. I was spending a lot of time on it. My staff was spending a lot of time on it. People were outsourcing with or getting frustrated. It got to be a problem. So here's what we do. We simply take the scope creep issue and we put it under an hourly umbrella. Now, there's lots of pros and cons to billing hourly versus on a project basis or billing for the value you bring to your client. Scott, awesome to see you. I'm super big fan of billing and charging for the value you're bringing your client. And you can do that in project-based. You can actually do it under an hourly. What's up, Deborah? Awesome to see you. You can do it under hourly as well. But when it comes to scope creep, bringing that into an hourly structure really, really helps. Here's why. So let's say someone's doing a website, a logo, some kind of creative work with you and your agency, and you're trying to bring them in and you want them to keep going. Let's just use a logo, for instance. And you know the logo is going to take maybe, I don't know, 5 hours of some graphic designer's execution time, and you're going to spend an hour with a client, maybe 2 hours if you have to go back and forth. Barbara, awesome to see you. Good morning to you as well. If it's going to take you a little bit of that time, then totally fine. That's normal and appropriate, right? That's how this works. But if it starts getting, just use that logo design thing. If it starts getting in a place that you're like spending 3 hours, 4 hours, or it's taking maybe 10 hours of graphic design time because the client keeps coming back over and over and over again, that's scope creep. So what we do is we very simply just put in a clause in the contract. And if you have an existing client, we'll talk about it in a second. We put a clause in new contracts. What's up, Chris? Good to see you. That just states that here's the services we offer. Here's the value we're bringing. Here's the price for that. Again, we're very interested in value-based pricing. We don't even do a lot of proposals in our agency. We have a very broad stroke in our contracts and we cover value-based pricing. There's a lot of nuances to that. But when it comes to scope creep, we drop a little clause in every contract and just say that as we do periodic updates throughout each month of the agreement, we're going to let the clients know that, hey, this one area of the contract or the agreement or the project is getting a little out of the norm. And we want to help them keep that under control. We don't want to have to move to a billable structure from an hourly standpoint. And so let's kind of rein that in and go ahead and make some decisions and get things moved on. Or let's go ahead and rein that in, get the content, the images, the copy, whatever you need for the thing you're doing. You know how clients just don't all the time get that copy to you as fast as you need. They don't get the content you need as fast as you need. We just simply say, hey, let's go ahead and rein that in, get that done the next 7 days. If we can't get it in the next 7 days, if we can't get it done the next 1 hour block of time, whatever it is that's going to get out of the zone of the scope that you're working in, we just let them know we're going to have to move to an hourly billable structure. And that's very simply X amount per hour for each different skill set or team member. I prefer to line up hourly based on skill sets, the type of work that's going on, if it's an executive level skill set, or if it's an administrative level skill set, or a marketing administrative skill set. We have different price points for those things. So we just simply really jump in there and make sure that we're putting together an hourly structure that we can refer clients back to anytime scope creep comes up. And that hourly structure is pretty pricey. This is not a basic hourly structure. This is not, 25 bucks an hour. We're talking hundreds of dollars per hour for that hourly structure, because we want to keep the projects on track. We want to keep the client moving forward. That's the best thing for the client in their market. And we also want to make sure that we're getting compensated if that does come up. So if scope creep comes up and we're under that structure, I'm actually totally cool with it. I used to hate scope creep, but now with that structure in there, I'm totally fine with it. It's not bad for me. In fact, as an agency, it's really profitable. I bet we make, I don't know, this is going to sound crazy, but I would think 30-40% of the income we get in our agency is because of scope creep. And that's fantastic. I'm not trying to build an agency that promotes scope creep, but we've priced it in a way where our clients are okay. They don't mind if scope creep is what they want to do, and they really want to hone in and spend way more time than they need to on a logo, because people love talking about their logos. That's okay. It's just, here's the process it goes into, and they're willing to do that. So a couple of big things, obviously, there. We're working with a clientele, and we've really worked that niche to a point where, thanks, Ian. We've really worked that niche to a point where we're getting in with clients that are more worried about time, and they're more worried about something being perfect and getting it just the way they want to get it than they are about the actual dollars they're spending. That's the clientele you want to get into, all right? Those clients are the best clients. Mark, awesome to see you. So make sure you're increasing that clientele, getting better and better clients, but as you get the scope creep thing moving, really begin to charge for that. Now let's talk about what happens if you have an existing client. By the way, I'm almost done talking about this, so this is really fast. I'm only 7 minutes in. So if you have questions, go ahead and fire them off. Usually I'm hanging out here for like 30 minutes, but I'm gonna run out of stuff to say about scope creep. So let's talk about what if your existing client, if you want clarification on how to do this, ask questions down there. If you're gonna take that scope creep conversation to existing clients, that's a little more awkward, right? A new client, you can layer that hourly thing in there and you can help them understand how to pay. If you have new or existing clients, I just simply say, we've had to do this many times in the past until we kind of made it an official part of our process going forward. Hey, super glad we're doing all this. And we've noticed that as we build out sites for you, as we build out landing pages, as we build copy for you, whatever it is that you do, video, photography, whatever your agency does, we just want to make sure that we're doing that super efficiently. What's up, Dennis? And Mark, I see your question. Hang tight just a second. We want to make sure that we get this done efficiently for you. So starting 30 days from now, starting 6 weeks from now, whatever, something like that, 1 to 2 months from now, we're implementing a new policy and a new structure in our agency that really helps clients like you get this done more efficiently. So we have these processes in place. Here's our fill in the blanks. Here's our templates. Here's the conversations, the discovery calls we'd love to have with you. Even a discovery call mid-client stream is totally okay. Just help them know, hey, we have these systems in place that we're building to help us do the work more efficiently and to help you get your projects out and online even faster. Again, all very positively stated here, right? Very forward motion, a lot of positivity. And we're going to put that in place. We'll send you the parameters for that. Parameters is the wrong word. We'll send you the strategy for that and love to walk you through that. I usually do that over the course of a phone call. And then we make sure that, like, if it's a monthly phone call or every other week phone call we have for clients, we walk them through that strategy. Here's how it works. Here's what it looks like. We have the team in place. We want to get this done faster. Hey, if we ever do go over this, you're going to notice that there's pricing involved, and we don't mind doing that. We just want to let you know up front, if we ever get over that line, there's going to be some hourly pricing involved. Here's the structure for that. But I don't see a reason we ever need to do that. I just let them know that right up front. If we follow the strategy here, you're going to get your projects launched faster, more efficiently, at a better value for you, and you're not going to need to incur those higher costs. If you do ever want to go over the line on those things and really drill down into something, totally cool. Would love to help with that. There's a cost structure in place for that, and we want to help you there. We just want to let you know how that works. And I usually kind of blame it on other clients. Hey, we do have those clients, not you, but we do have those clients who sometimes, take a lot of time and get into a lot of different areas, and we don't want that to impact how your product or service goes on. So we're just implementing this across the board. They're like, oh, thank you so much. Even if they're the problem client, they don't realize that, and they value the process. All right, that's how we do that. Okay, so let me jump up here, Mark, your message up there. Just negotiated a retainer model for a client for this very reason of scope creep. 4 hours equals blank dollars for XYC only. Yes, fantastic, Mark. That is exactly the model right there. And the thing I would add, maybe you already said this. Let me look at your other note. Chris, do you have an example of your scope creep contract I could review? Mark, great question. People ask for our contracts frequently in this group, and our attorney has been super specific about not, I know this is horrible, not letting us put any of our contracts in a community like this. Not because you or anyone else, Mark, is going to abuse that right, but simply because you should have your own attorney help you word that. And that's just the case. I'm not giving legal counsel. I can't. And evidently people in other groups have gotten in a lot of trouble, not by Facebook, but just legally by helping people with legal verbiage, and it gets kind of out of control. And somebody sues them 3 years later for writing a contract that didn't work, whatever. Talk to your attorney about that. I'm sure you could probably Google some of that and find examples. But again, I would always run that past your attorney, anything contractually. So hope that helps. So here's the deal. Just simply jumping out there and making sure you're really putting that in place. And when it comes to the hourly charge you're going to charge for scope creep, make sure there's a very hefty hourly charge. I'm not trying to run people off, but I'm definitely trying to make sure that scope creep, when it happens, is a profitable move for our agency, and that it's something that we can really actually build a business around. Scope creep is going to happen. You will never have an agency, if you do creative work, that has any kind of done for you service in there or done with you service, unless it's like literally stamping out a pre-recorded course and you're selling it from an automated system and they just get a login and boom, it's out. Unless it's something like that, you're always gonna have scope creep. That's just part of it. So make scope creep a reality, make it a profitable, enjoyable part of your business, right? Don't try to get rid of it. Learn how to make money from it. Mark, that's understandable. I can word this from the video later. Appreciate it, Chris. You bet, Mark. Absolutely. So super easy question. And again, let me just restate that last little bit again. Scope creep happens. It's always going to happen. And you should make it one of your products or services. I guess that's the moral of the story. If I had to really just kind of sum up what we've done as an agency, we've made that a very viable part of what we do. And we love scope creep. I mean, it happens all the time. We're about to get on a phone call later this morning with a client who's got, what's up, Pip? Awesome to see you. Who's got scope creep going on, and they're on their third or fourth round of something that they should have finished 3 or 4 rounds ago. And they know it, and they're okay with it, and we're okay with it. And my staff are loving helping them because, ironically, scope creep that we've been frustrated with in the past has now become profitable and enjoyable. And ironically, the scope creep is often what our agency loves doing the most. They love hanging out with clients who are involved in really deep rabbit holes of scope creep. We try to guide them back and get them on the path as soon as we can, but usually those are the most creative, enjoyable, intuitive market discovery opportunities ever. And when clients want to pay for it, it's just so stinking fun, right? So enjoy the scope creep. Dennis, what is the, let's see, what's the derivation of that phrase? I'm not reading that well. Hang on, let me get my screen up here where I can actually see what you're saying here, Dennis. Specifically, how do you specifically help the? No, hang on. Dennis, what's the? Help me out. That's a big word, Dennis. Lori, great to see you. Let's see here. Dennis, I just want to make sure I get your question the right way here. So, the source, if I'm hearing you right, Dennis, just trying to make sure I'm getting you right. Where does the scope creep come from? Okay, got it. Got it. I think you meant phase there. That helps me out. Maybe I just got it wrong. Okay, Dennis. So the scope creep comes from them finding that they're in a creative phase with us. They're in some kind of creative process with us. Thanks for clarifying. I'm only like a second grader in real life, Dennis. You know how it is. So if they're in a creative phase with us, if they're doing some creative project, or if they're in a coaching or consulting role, and we're helping coach or consult them, we have a pricing structure, and we want to price our services based on the outcome, the value that we're bringing to that client. That's how we base our pricing in our agency. But regardless of that, there's always some nuances to a client anytime you're doing something with or for them where they're like, oh, and can you help out with this one more thing? Or can we just grab one more quick phone call? Or, hey, I wanted to get 2 more team members in on this. Can we kind of repeat that phone call we had last Tuesday? If you're in a consulting role like you are, in coaching role, Dennis, if it's someone with a creative process, there's inevitably, like, if you're building a site for them, there's inevitably like 3 more pages. Or, oh, I just realized we have all these newsletters that we've been sending out for like 15 years. Can you just drop them in the blog section of our website real quick? That's scope creep. Anything that's kind of over and above and outside that normal realm of the agreement that you've got with them, that's scope creep. And so either you plan in an amount of scope creep you're able to handle inside your structure normally without an additional charge, or you start just simply allowing scope creep, but letting them know there's extra fees for that, and we are totally cool with helping you out. And here's our structure. If you don't want to get in those fees, no worries. If you don't mind those fees and you really want to chase something down, we're totally supporting that. Cool. That is how we do it. We freaking love scope creep. It's very fun. Not just is it profitable, but it's super duper fun. So, moral of the story is, don't try to avoid scope creep. Just price it. Make it a product or service. It's part of the work, right? And clients love doing it. We love doing it. Okay, that's, I think, all we got. Any questions that I am missing? If you got them, let me know. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up. I so love hanging out with everybody. Y'all are just the best, most fun people to hang out with ever. So ask your questions. If you want to shoot me private messages, or if you want to drop them here in the group, you can do that. If you need any help or support as you're growing your agency and you want to reach into this community, feel free. I'm not interested in people pitching in the group. Nobody does that, which y'all are all super cool. It's so cool. I've actually never even had to ask someone not to pitch in this group. That's really cool. But if you need help with something, or you want to, kind of work together, or you're like, hey, here's a weak spot in my agency. Is anybody expert in this? Does anybody want to help with this? Hey, I've got a client. I need to kind of share or outsource this piece. That kind of thing right there. Or, hey, I'm an expert in this, got a little more space right now in my world. I could help out with these kind of categories. Drop it in here in the group. People are making amazing connections in this group. Just rock it in there. Let people know what you do, who you are. And I'm telling you, you'll find support. These are good people. Everybody in this group is an amazing agency owner. They're all super serious and glad to be here. Mark, great topic and relevant. Turning a negative into a positive. Awesome, dude. Absolutely, man. This is Scope Creep is where the money and the fun is at. All right. That's it for me today, folks. Y'all have a fantastic Tuesday. I will talk to you all on Wednesday tomorrow. And we'll dive into the next big section of Q&As. I've already got a couple built up, and I've got some fun ones coming up that I'm looking forward to talking to. All right. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.